When I started to think of ideas for this character, I didn't know exactly what position I was going to place him in, but I knew that I wanted to involve him, of course, as well as Dust, his companion. But I still didn't know what to do, and as like any artist would, you sometimes look at reference to try and spark an idea, or you look at how the character behaves in a video game to get an idea from that as well. And sometimes that is the best thing to do, especially if you can find the direct source material of that character. In my case, I actually started playing the video game again, and it really did heavily inspire me to create a piece for him again. And this is, I believe, the fourth time I've drawn him. Even though I thought it was the second time of redrawing him, there was a time or two times before that. The first time was in 2020, I believe. The two other times were in university, when I was studying in my second year and I was focusing on a theme of nostalgia. Of course, because of this character being so nostalgic to me, he ended up making his way into my work. And now we have him redrawn again. Revamped, so to speak. And I couldn't have been any happier with the results that I have made with him and this character, because my word, I have come quite a long way indeed. A long way for sure. But what was funny was, when figuring out pose, backtracking a little bit on the topic, how I figured out his pose was I just literally started sketching. Just started drawing. There was one image in mind that I had, which was Joe Madureira's interpretation of death in one of his sketches, where he was hunched over looking forward and holding his companion on his forearm up. But I didn't want to redraw that, because even though I thought it was a really cool pose and I loved it a lot, I obviously don't want to copy directly too much, but I wanted to use that as inspiration. So I used that pose, or the thought of that pose, to think of my own. And again, hunched over, but I did want him to hold his classic scythes. I didn't want him to just be holding his companion Dust. And this is when I thought of this pose. And literally, I just did it slowly, one piece at a time. There was no rhyme or reason behind it. It was honestly just good old-fashioned, sit down, draw, and let's make something out of it. And this is the result of it. Honestly, I couldn't have been any happier. Of course, I took, again, some information from like how to draw certain areas better, such as the back of the arm, the tricep area, the back in general. But I also know that Death's character isn't anatomically correct or accurate. But it is anatomically correct. It's not anatomically accurate. But I think that's the point. With especially Joe Madureira's style, he did that on purpose. And I wanted to translate that, because that's his design, that's his character, that's who he is, how he looks. But I'm really happy with the result. Yes, there are some things I want to change, and that I do change in part 2. But they're very minor and very small. Some are bigger than others a little bit, but they're still very minor. But this is it. This is the final result. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough and the video footage of me creating this next masterpiece of mine. And I hope to see you again very soon on the next one.